Alright, so Desmond and Brian here. We just recently played Millennium Blades.
Really interesting game.
Crazy interesting game at that. So it markets itself as a CCG simulator card game.
Which it very much is. I was never really into the CCG scene at all. So some of like, I could understand this, but it's not, speaking.
I played a bit of it in college, and just like you, like I haven't played too much of it. That whole scene passed me by, so I didn't have that kind of experience.
Yeah.
But I didn't have enough friends in it that I could
You get it. Like there's this whole aftermarket scene and this like frantic buying stuff. Like I wasn't there during the height of all that.
And
but
yeah,
I heard about it.
Exactly.
So it's like secondhand craziness from my point of view.
And pretty much. I feel the same way too. This is a very fast-paced, high-intensity game.
Oh yeah.
It totes that right here.
Right there in the box.
Right there.
Additionally, it says it takes about 2 hours, and it did take about 2 hours. It says like 2 hours and 10 minutes roughly.
About actually almost 2 hours on the dot.
Depending
Depending on fluctuations and things like that. The half the game is timed though.
It is. There are sections of the game that are explicitly
20 minutes per
20 minutes long.
Yeah, that's all the
all the deck building stuff.
Yeah, the whole going to the store and buying your booster packs and then making a deck out of them, and that whole thing is timed.
That for me that was really frantic.
Very.
Just trying to we've got 7 minutes to do this thing. I mean, throw cards and money across the room. Right?
Yeah, and part of it was weird because I was expecting the franticness of like everyone just going, ah. But the other part of it is I was also worried about it, and it did happen at one point where we hit a situation where both of us were kind of done.
I think that would have been alleviated with more people because we weren't doing a whole lot of trades either.
Yeah, trades did not happen.
Trades kind of barely happened.
We did one trade the entire game, and that was literally just because we might as well try it.
Yeah. But I tried to get you to trade it. You sold out. I really wanted.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did get rid of that card.
Which actually brings us to our next point. Do we think this works as a 2-player game?
It works. It's functional as a 2-player game. It completely holds up, and it has its own rule support for it. But at the same time, the fun quotient drops.
Yeah, I think it's better for 4 or 5.
I don't even think 3 is worthwhile.
3 might be okay, maybe.
It gives enough of a pace up, but because the intensity level skyrockets with the number of people that you add, even adding a third person.
Yeah, I can imagine adding more people, just like some more screaming too.
Yeah,
not angry screaming, just screaming.
You're gonna get 4 or 5 people sitting at this table, and as soon as the deck building phase happens, we have to go buy cards. Everyone's hand is going to be reaching for the middle of the table, and there's nothing you can do about it.
There's a good reason the first instruction in the game says, make sure there's enough room.
Yeah. It's also very good that the game has instructions, or at least notes that hey, by the way, we're a high intensity game. Please take breaks, and please don't be mean to each other.
Oh yeah.
Because you will do that.
Yeah.
I also like that this is the one and only game I've seen that explicitly has a rule for the person who refills the play area. So if you buy a card, normally you have to put a card back down to replace the one you bought. But the rules explicitly state if that happens and the person puts the card down, let them have time to look at it, and if they want it, they get first crack at it. Because they're already having to deal with the thing that they bought. That is not fair that everyone else gets to jump on it.
Yeah, the game is built high intensity, but there's enough little breathing spaces inserted into it that say, hey, just stop.
Yeah, take a break, relax.
Which is nice, because I thought it was borderline frantic for a good chunk of the deck building phases.
This is very true. It's also they had another rule in there about
Was it the no-go backs?
Yes, it was the no-go backs. And no-go backs rule is interesting because it's the only game that explicitly says that.
Yeah.
You make a mistake, which happened during our game, you own that mistake.
Yeah.
You can't take that back. If you mistakenly sold something, or if you forgot to take an action during the tournament phase, you're done. That's it. You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. And speaking of rules, how well do we think that this would work for someone new to games in general?
So, new to games in general, this system is not, I don't think it's super friendly to people who are brand new. It's helpful to new people in the sense that it takes into account like, hey, don't be mad at each other, be mindful of the intensity. I'm really happy that it's open to that and knows the type of people it's playing with. That said, it's not made for new people.
The complexity factor is rather high.
It also assumes not assumes, but
It helps a lot if you are at least familiar with CCGs in general.
Not CCGs and the world around CCGs.
Because it's about CCGs, it's not playing the CCG, it's around the CCG. So
yeah. Everything that was in this game, everything that it mimics about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, is in here. And if you didn't know that world when you were younger or around, or you didn't know it now, it kind of throws you for a loop. And it's a new experience for a lot of people who stayed away from it or just never experienced it.
Yeah, the Venn diagram for this game is exceedingly small.
Yeah, this was a call out to a specific set of people, and for those people, I think this game would be worthwhile. It could be the CCGers attempt to broaden their way into board games,
or at least take shots at themselves in a meta sense.
Yeah, kind of crack wise at it.
Yeah.
At the same token, if you're not that type of person, if you aren't willing to dive into the fake realm, the faux realm that is CCGs, it tends to get a little intense, and you may not fully dive into it, or you may come out of it thinking, good experience, probably won't go near it, and now I don't have a feeling of going to Magic the Gathering either.
Yeah, and speaking of having to learn an entire culture, how well do you think this game speaking of having an entire culture, how well do you think this game deals with its learning curve? How easy is it to understand?
The learning curve is high. The actions you take are quick and easy once you get them down, but it has a big learning curve in the beginning and then tapers off.
Yeah, there is a lot of explanatory, expository set that you need to this definitely works. Or we have to talk about all of this right now, because once we get started, 6 minutes. Please pay attention. Or when tournaments are a little more laid back, because it's one action after another.
Right.
So and it's not time, so you say, oh, let's look that up.
Exactly. It's nice to have that rule set for the tournaments, but for the deck building thing, especially because you're also looking at cards that you get and their actions and whatnot. So between having to know how the whole market works and keeping eyes on the market and keeping eyes on everything it's doing, you have to look at your own cards to figure out what they're doing and still build your deck.
Yeah.
By the time the 7 minute, 7 minute, and 6 minute phases are done.
Yeah. You're building your entire strategy in those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like I had an instance where oh, I was going to do this. I'm going to just throw all this out. It's all garbage.
Right. It also, as a nitpick to the culture itself, it's a weird thing when the meta of the game is inherently like, oh, I'm going to get rid of these cards, where some people who are actually into CCGs tend to be collective and keep them all. So the game kind of supports both mentalities, but kind of doesn't.
It's almost like they're playing off both the culture of the cards themselves and the various cartoons that have come up around those cultures. Because the way you do the card trade thing, in-game card trade thing for promos, is literally called fusion promos.
Yes.
And I think that's a reference to a very specific series. I forget which one, but I'm pretty sure it's referring to some of it.
I'm sure I can think of many that matches.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
We talked about it briefly, but how well do you think, once it started, I think it went fairly quick after we did learn it.
Right. The pre-release phase in the very beginning was kind of our learning curve moment and getting used to it. But once we actually did the two deck building phases and the tournament phases, we kind of just sailed right through that.
Yeah, that's a good point. For new players, there is a basic pre-tournament phase or pre-release tournament phase, so you can kind of understand what the cards are, what you're trying to do, to go, okay, I understand what these cards are. I'm not going into the blind, like trying to plan for a future that you don't understand.
Exactly. In the game, I will tote this, the game has a mode for, hey, you have N number of players, this is your first time playing, do this. And it helps you set up everything beforehand and gives you not really prearranged, but at least like, use these cards, use this setup, do this thing. It's the easiest setup we have right now, and it helps you understand the game better. Then later on, you can get the complex stuff.
Or the jokes are funnier.
Or the jokes are funnier. Then there are some hilarious jokes and meta commentary in this game.
Oh yeah, the artwork is
fantastic,
really good.
Well, it's also mimicking that style of what's on the card, where the artwork on the cards are always like polished sheen good, getting it from various artists who do this for a living and whatnot. And actually, this is what drew me to the game, was the artwork. Seeing the box art alone, and you see the style of it, this is a nice glossy box top. This is amazing work. And I think this is what would normally like, oh, look at this is amazing. And then you think about it and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't a CCG, this is a game about the CCG game. Yeah. So it's like, so then you start getting turned off, but then you play it and it's like, it's still good, it's not, it's a mixed bag. But they really did go for the full aesthetic, and I give them top notch for keeping that through the entire game.
Yeah, the components were pretty good too. The basic tokens are standard cardboard punch outs, but the money is kind of fantastic.
I would imagine that was a pain in the butt for you to set up.
It wasn't that bad. It's like sleeving cards.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of watching something, kind of mindlessly counting out bills, then putting a sticker on them and moving on to the next. It's like you're not really thinking what you're doing, just being idle.
Right.
To set up. Speaking of setup.
Setup.
Hearing on for this was.
Hi, welcome to the longest setup and teardown of your life.
No.
It's not that bad, but it's a lot.
There is a lot going on with this.
If you know someone who is a Vegas dealer shuffler, please hire them because this game requires it.
Or break up into multiple different stuff decks and then do the cut shuffle back into end.
Yeah, you will end up with a deck that's about this big, and there's not much you can do to quell that.
Roughly speaking, there's about 10 to 12 sub decks that all get combined into one. And then when you also want to play that exact same set again, you get torn out and
redone
sets for the next time. The box is nice because it gives you some spaces from that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not great either.
Well, how would you organize it?
I have no idea. I've been trying to think of a good way, and it's like either you double the size of the box by adding extra plastic.
Yep.
Or you go with like a vertical solution, where you just have like little card dividers.
Yeah.
Like the
I know.
Yeah, you know the types, right? With little tabs, you go, okay, this one.
That might be a better solution and would be more to the aesthetic of the CCGs, which is just.
I've got a couple spare. I might think about it too. That does bring up another point. We've kind of talked about this a little bit here and there, but before we get into the final bit, is there anything else that we want to say about this game?
Like I said, the artwork was pretty good. I love I kind of like the container for it. It flows pretty well, but in the end, again, unless you're completely into CCGs, this might be somewhat of a turnoff, but it's still fun, and sometimes the chaotic is nice.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same mind. I would like to play this again with more people, just because I think that's going to kind of expand the space out a bit more, and
True.
that there's a lot more interactions and probably a lot more yelling, as we said earlier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I like the concept of the game. I like the idea that this is a game about a game.
Exactly.
At the same time, though, I'm not the target audience either for the central conceit of the game.
Very true.
If it's different at a meta game, I would be all over that. But
Yeah.
they're playing, and if it looks good from there, we'll keep it. If not,
Move on to the next thing.
we'll on to the next thing
Would we play this again?
with more people.
Yeah. Definitely with more people. 2 people do not cut it for this game.
It's still high energy with 2 people. Maybe higher with more, but yeah, it needs more people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really close to a party in that aspect.
Yeah, this might be what it's more leaning towards, a party game versus an actual like strategy board game, even though it has strategy elements in it.
Yeah, this is quite a bit of strategy.
All right. Well, this is our review of Millennium Blades. We'll try to have something out next week
Sweet.
or for the next one. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yep.